And we're back on the air for the last hour of the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online here on Spreaker, wrapping up our final hour of the program here on our the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. Do a wrap-up of some of the stories we've been covering for you here on our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show wherever you're listening across America. The Gary Russen program midweek edition. And this is where we have all the good stuff. This is where we, do the stuff that we enjoy doing here. And I love being on the radio doing this stuff and talking with you. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying the program. Here's the latest news update from the GJRB news desk right now. Where's that sounder? I guess I don't have that sounder on here. I only have it on the other side. Okay. So I'm going to pop up to the top of the page and... Here's a wrap-up of today's news from the GJRB News Desk. I'm Gary J. Russen. California emissions is topping the story today as President Trump has revoked California's authority to set its own emissions standards. In a waiver under the Clean Air allowed for setting standards and tightening the federal standards which have been adapted in the states. The California governor talked today, saying that where's the Republicans in all this?
California's Attorney General said they will explore their legal options here.
Oh, that's not it. That's another story. I thought I had that story in there. Okay, never mind. Anyway, another story, though. There's another... I thought that was it. I think I got that mixed up with another story. I figured I'd do that when I'm doing something, right? Okay, now never mind that one. I'm going to talk about another Pennsylvania story in which one of their state's people were accused of child porn.
California's Attorney General said they will explore their legal options here, promising to fight President Trump's decision to revoke California's waiver.
Okay, I thought that was that's the California waiver story, and I thought I had a voice track. I thought I had a voicer on that, and I can't find it. Oh well. Okay, never mind that. Meanwhile, let's go to something else. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in Saudi Arabia after an attack on the oil plant is under investigation. Simon Owen reports now from Fox.
Saudi Arabia is pointing a finger in Iran's direction, showing reporters what it says are the remnants of weapons used in the weekend attacks and identifying those weapons as Iranian drones and cruise missiles. Military spokesperson Colonel Turki Al-Malki.
All the components that we have recovered and we have analyzed through our expert, it shows the capability of the Iranian regime.
But the colonel stopping short of directly accusing Iran of launching the attacks.
And meanwhile, let's see what other story. Veteran ABC News reporter and NPR reporter Cokie Roberts has died. She was the daughter of Hale Boggs, who served in the House of Representatives. She was 75 years old. And those are some of the stories we're covering for you on the GJRB News Desk. And again, news continues throughout the hour on the GJRB Online Network, GJRB's original news talk program, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. And we are now doing, we're going to do another scroll through social media this hour. And we'll also preview our programming coming up. And we'll do the Clinton weather forecast as well, all coming up this hour. And, of course, our Spreaker shout-outs coming up. So stay tuned. The Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. And I thought I had that soundbite, but apparently, let me see if I can find it. No, I had that on there. There's another one I wanted to talk about, the California emissions story. As you remember straight, we were talking about that earlier. And I had that somewhere. Let's take a look at the Fox newscast, and I had it here. And let me see if I can find it. It was saved on the Audacity, and what I love about this Audacity is that I can mark a spot on there and make another recording or play it from there without having it'll stop. It's kind of cool. I like that. And it makes it a lot easier to do a newscast when I can do that. Here's that other report I was talking about earlier. A Pennsylvania lawmaker has been accused of child porn. We'll talk about this story right now. Let's get this report.
The state attorney general is accusing state senator Michael Fulmer of uploading child porn to Tumblr. The website reported the upload to authorities, who ended up at the Republican's home, where they found the child porn photos on the 63-year-old's phone. According to PennLive.com, Fulmer admitted that he received the images through his Tumblr account and said he was working through some personal problems. Ken Duffy, Fox News.
The Pennsylvania governor had called on Fulmer to resign, describing the allegations as disgusting and beyond comprehension. Fulmer has not made a formal announcement, but Senate leaders say they received a resignation letter.
Yeah. How about that now? What do you think about that? Pennsylvania lawmaker. And he's accused of doing this. What's up with that? I mean, geez. And he's going through problems. Is that an excuse to do that? Really? I mean, is that what the reporters are saying here? They're making this an excuse for his actions? Come on now. Really? Again, this is our lovely society, folks. It's nuts, I'm telling you. What is wrong here? You know, you have to wonder about that one. It's crazy. But you're listening to the Gary Russen program, midweek edition. Thank you so much for tuning into the program. And thank you for listening to GJRB Online in our Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. If you want to get on it, you still got 1 more hour left to go, a little less than that. So drop me a line. That's Gary.Russen on Skype or on my Facebook if you're a follower there, and hit that call button. I need to get a hold of Ben Ostman, see if he wants to be on the show. I wanted to ask him about what he thinks about this Pennsylvania lawmaker. See what he thinks about it. That'd be kind of something to pull off on him. I hope need to get a hold of him because, you know, he always says he's going to be on and then he gets called to work, which kind of is a bummer because I always look forward to having him on because we always have interesting conversations. But if he doesn't show up this Saturday, what I might do is pull up the last time he was on the show and replay it because it was a good interview. It was a good segment. It really was. I love doing that. So maybe perhaps that's what I'll do. I have to go back and see if I can find that particular piece, but I think it's got to be there somewhere. So let's just see if we can find it. Meanwhile, if you're a follower on Twitter, we're going to go there here in just a little bit. I am the Radio Maniac. When you see that antique radio emblem, pull that up and it'll say GJRB Online. And when you do that, it'll take you right there. There opens up a widget, and you can listen to the show there, or go ahead and click that widget. It'll take you right into my chat room. And I'm posting on there. Also posting on the MeWe. And also later on, after I'm done with the show, being that you probably, I usually will post on the Pinterest, which I didn't do this hour. I could have done Pinterest. I didn't get to that, but I will try to pull that in this segment. So watch for that. I'm going to get Pinterest in here too. And get that in. And also, I'm going to pull up the MeWe site. I'm going to see if I can get Convo. I'm going to have to send I forgot to ask Ed Delgado last night if Convo's back up. Because I was wondering if it was. So I'm going to try to see if I get that one. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue the scroll through social media as we continue the Gary Russen program, midweek edition here on GJRB Online, and wrap up the show then, and continue. And, of course, I hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening to across this fine land of ours. GJRB Online on Spreaker. You're welcome to be on the air and join me in the program, because I always love doing this program. It's more fun when you get people listening, you know? Okay, let me see. Wait, I want to turn that up, because it's time to continue. And I'm going to go into Twitter here pretty soon in this segment, as we continue the program, the Gary Russen program midweek edition. Let's pop up this. Get that ready to go. I'm going to go and copy that into my MeWe. And this hour again brought to you by Spreaker, where you too can be on the air and do this Spreaker Fun Stuff Radio live on GJRB Online. Have a radio station, have a radio show, and maybe you'll even get more listeners than me. You never know. Spreaker, just start an account. And when you do that, then you can be on the air for free for 15 minutes. That's not bad. And you get a chance to now I already posted on MeWe, and when you post on MeWe, it'll click that little thing there, and it'll take you right into my show and my chat room. So if you're a MeWe listener, you can go in there, and I'm going to now go over into my Twitter. That's where we're going to go right now, and sign in, please. Okay, that was the remember? Yeah. What's my line? Yeah, sign in, please. Okay, so I'm into now the Twitter, and there it is, the Antique Radio. And it says GJRB Online above it. Let's see, I got some notifications on here. Let's see what we got. Tweet from Spreaker. And a few other postings here. Dana Loesch, a few other ones. The Summers of Alaska posting. WTAE in Pittsburgh. Mason Rudolph. He's going to be the replacement for Ben Roethlisberger, who is out on an injury. And we'll talk about that on Sports Page in a little bit here. Ben Roethlisberger was on an injury, so now they're going to get a replacement. His name is Mason Rudolph, and he's going to be the replacement. And they're asking whether or not this Rudolph guy is going to take us through to the playoffs, because Ben Roethlisberger is not going to be available for the rest of the season. He's just not going to be. And what do you think about that one? So let's see what this Mason Rudolph will do. Next time I get to see the Steelers, I can't remember. We'll have to look at the date on that. But I know they're going to be on either Sunday or Monday night coming up. I'm not sure exactly when. Let's see what this quarterback's like. So your comments on that are welcome. You'll see the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. I'm kind of flipping around here to see what else we can find to talk about. I am in Twitter right now, so let's go back to the main page. Let's see. Ashley Tinsdale, Dana Loesch there, Ian Punnett. So let's go back to the main page, shall we? The home page. And see what's going on Twitter these days. Let's see what we got here. Some Pittsburgh stuff. Parkway there. Huffington Post. Listen to the scientist. Greta Thunberg. Thunberg. And other teen climate activists are testifying in Congress about the global warming crisis. Oh, we got to listen to this.
I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to the scientists.
Listen to the scientist.
How we can get more young people involved. I think to just tell them the truth. Tell them how it is. And because when I found out how it actually was, that made me furious. So I wanted to do something about it.
Everyone who will walk up to me after this testimony saying that I have such a bright future ahead of me will be lying to my face. It doesn't matter how talented we are. It doesn't matter how much work we put in, how many dreams we have. The reality is my generation has been committed to a planet that is collapsing. The fact that you are staring at a panel of young people testifying before you today, pleading for a livable Earth, should not fill you with pride. It should fill you with shame.
As it is now, people in general don't seem to be very aware of the actual science and how severe this crisis actually is. So I just think we need to inform them and start treating this crisis like the existential emergency it is.
Yeah. Okay, and according to the last 7 days, which I just put up here the other day, there is a story on there that talks about the fact that some scientists have said and already gathered some information that says that the global warming crisis is a hoax. I believe that story before I believe these little twerps. We're just a liberal brainwashing. It's a brainwashing attempt, folks. Let's leave it at that. Let's continue on to the story here. Let's see what else we can find down the page here. We got some sport. Oh, what's this story? This is an interesting one. Let's see if we can get past it. Oh, there's Mr. Rogers and picture. Okay, let's see where we go. No, that's something else there. Okay. Talkers. Oh, I want that one. Let's see what's we got. Some stuff from Pundit. Yeah, great talk show host too. And let's see. Tonight on Dave Scott. By the way, we're going to do a shout out to that show as well. Tonight, big time. Tonight on Dave Scott. Where's Kevin Day? I think. He had a great show last night. He was talking about Nimitz, UFO encounters last night. He had Gary Vorthaus on. Very good program last night. Absolutely fabulous. I was listening to that, and it was on our 9-foot closed circuit Spreaker FM. Great program. Breaking out in New Rochelle, New York. A car smashes into a Trump Plaza. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Breaking out of New York, New Rochelle, a car smashes into the Trump Plaza. Check this out. And let me see if we can find that complete story. This comes out of Channel 2 New York. See, maybe perhaps we'll find this story complete. Let's see if we can find it here. Where is that? Let me go back one page. See if we can find it here again. Let's see. Breaking story. A car. I guess that's all they know so far. Not a coincidence. Dems raging unhinged lunatics. Significant public health risk. Dems facing prosecution and significant... No, this is something else. So that's all we know so far, other than the car smashed into a Trump Plaza in New Rochelle, New York. That's all we know so far, I guess, according to this. But there you go. No details on that. Watch your evening news for details on that story. And you're listening, let me see. Okay, so coming up here in about, let's see what time is it, 20 minutes past 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time right now, 5:20, 6:20 Eastern, and 3:20 Pacific, 2:20 in Alaska. And you're listening to the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. This is our free semi-freestyle edition, the Over the Hump Day edition, the midweek edition, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're doing. And we're following some of the interesting news stories that are going about on Twitter as we're following the Twitter news story. So far, that's all we know on that story. That's all we're getting so far. People still go to the mall, according to Dana Loesch. Taylor Swift says is now obsessed with the politics and the 2020 elections. Well, we know that. That's probably a left-wing guard. A lot of what's on Twitter, even though I use it for different stuff, it has a left-wing agenda on it. Most definitely. You can see it. Southlaw Steelers Nation. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Colin Kaepernick to help following the news that Ben Roethlisberger is out for the season? Should the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Colin Kaepernick? Should the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Colin Kaepernick? No. That would kind of ruin that team. Not that it hasn't been ruined already, but if the Pittsburgh Steelers signed Colin Kaepernick, I more than likely will probably be saying goodbye to the Steelers for good. I don't want that lowlife, left-wing, communist, whatever you call them, play for the Steelers. I mean, seriously? Why would they sign this guy? Really? I mean, what would be the purpose of signing this man? I say no. Let's not sign this guy. Even though Colin Kaepernick probably could, but, Ben Roethlisberger is out for the season. But why would we put Colin Kaepernick on it? I mean, why would they even think about it? But according to this, the Pittsburgh Steelers announced today that starting quarterback Ben Roethlisberger will miss the rest of the season after having surgery to repair an elbow he injured in the first half of the Sunday game against the Seattle Seahawks. They won that game 28-26. The team now sitting 0-2. Quarterback situation. It was a loss. Never mind. 28-26 loss to Seattle Seahawks. The team is 0-2 now, and the quarterback situation is dire. Former third-round pick Mason Rudolph stepped in for Roethlisberger Sunday and performed quite capability completely with 12 of 19 passes, over 100 yards, and 2 scores with the interception as well. Rudolph was part of saying that the right thing about taking over the quarterback job is telling the media today that he'll be ready to roll when the team faces the 49ers in San Francisco this Sunday. However, behind him, a situation a bit more uncertain. The team has traded former third stringer Josh Dobbs to Jacksonville Jaguars last week, and then signed Devlin Hodges to practice squad. Hodges has never appeared in a regular season NFL game. He is a rookie, fresh out of playing from Samford last year. For the team, though, trying to climb out of an 0-2 hole, make a return to the playoffs. Experience arm would help, but then in the front, there is one name that will continue to be brought up in the opening of the quarterback would be on the NFL roster would be Colin Kaepernick, former San Francisco 49er quarterback, out of football over the last couple of seasons over his controversy about the kneeling during the national anthem. For what it's worth, 2017, Kaepernick's last season in the league, he completed just a hair under 60% of his passes for over 2,200 yards and 16 touchdowns versus 4 interceptions and 11 starts for the 49er team in the first season. And if he failed Chip Kelly experiment, he had been out of the league for the last 2 seasons, but the other option would be free agency. A free agency pool, which aren't expected to inspire for the names like, and they got a lot of names here, like Brock Orweiler, Paxton Lynch, Brandon Whedon, and Matt Castle. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it would ruin the Steelers if they signed Kaepernick. Sorry, that's just how I see it. I think it would it would ruin that. It's time to take a look at our weather on the 5s for Clinton, Iowa, and then we're going to be doing our shout-outs to all Spreaker podcasters. That's coming up as we continue here on GJRB Online. According to Mayer Farms at the Eagle Point Station right now, it's 82 degrees in Clinton. Feels like 86. Feels a little warmer in here. Our barometric pressure, 29.98 inches of mercury, 10 miles on the visibility. It's clear right now. Relative humidity is at 65%, dew point 70. Moderate on the UV index and air quality, 62 there, no pollen. Dry conditions right now, 0%, but it's going to increase to 60% tonight. Partly cloudy this evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms developing after midnight, with a low near 65 degrees. South-southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour and a 60% chance of rain. Tomorrow, going to go down to about 50%. Mostly cloudy skies, scattered thunderstorms during the morning hours. High 81. South-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, chance of rain at 50%. Tomorrow, it's going to, lovely. Scattered showers tomorrow. Tomorrow night, thunderstorms. Later in the night, low near 65. Winds light and variable with a 40% chance of precipitation. Once again, our current Spreaker temperature here at our GJRB Spreaker studios. And according to Mayer Farms, the Eagle Point Station, 82 degrees. And that's weather on the 5s. And we do that on all radio shows. 25 and 55 past the hour on all music shows. 25 and 45. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change that as soon as we go to when we upgrade. I'm going to change back to 25 and 55 because it gets a little confusing when I do that. 25 and 45 on all music shows. 25 and 55 talk shows on the GJRB Online Network. Getting close to 5:30, about 28 minutes past the hour. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, midweek edition on GJRB. And your chance to get in on the program through Spreaker in the chat room, Gary.Russen on Skype, and on the Facebook Messenger. Some of the places you can call me from. But I always love when we get some people in the Spreaker chat room, which is kind of fun. And my phone was ringing earlier, but I was in the middle of a weather forecast. And, in radio, when you're doing a weather forecast and the phone rings in the studio lines, you have to let the phone ring until you get done with a segment and you go to a commercial. Usually, it's kind of a general rule in radio. Usually, if a caller calls a program, you almost have to wait 20 rings before the personality answers. I've called radio stations before, and that's pretty much true. Let's see what we have coming up here. I got, why don't we get ready, because it's coming up to that time to do the Spreaker shout-outs. So we're going to do that. Spreaker shout-outs brought to you by Spreaker, where you too can be on radio like me and let your voice be known to the world. Spreaker, it's www.spreaker.com, and start an account, and you can be on radio like me doing this radio stuff. It's speaker spelled wrong on purpose. Spreaker, and broadcast to the world. And let's see, we got that coming up here. Let's do that. And I'm going to go to my theme music for our Spreaker shout-outs. Let's see, let's go to that. Spreaker shout-outs. I'm going to go to my theme here. I'm going to go to where it says recent places. It's easier to find it that way, because I love that recent places, because I have a lot of great shortcuts on here to get to places, and I love it. Let's see, JKL Jazz Is, that's what we're looking for, and our theme for it. So let's do that right now. It's time for our Spreaker shout-outs right now. Time to promote all the great people who broadcast on this fine platform called Spreaker. Yeah, great ones, and they're always fabulous. They're all over the place. You know, since podcasting started and since I started this, podcasting has become like the hottest commodity on the internet. I mean, there are so many radio stations, so many personalities, people who've never done radio, or people who wanted to do radio all their lives like me, can go on the air and do a radio show. Absolutely fabulous. And this is the place to do it, Spreaker. And we have some great podcasters on here. One was on last night. Had a great show. Ed Delgado, the Caramel Conservative. And he's on every Tuesday night. Live, 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time, 6 o'clock in the Pacific Time. And 7 o'clock Mountain. 9 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone. From Wisconsin. Absolutely fabulous show. He had a good one last night. Talked about a lot of stuff, including Phenomenal. He's great. Listen to him. He's on with a great podcast. And he's got more stuff going on. I mean, he's not just doing Tuesday night. He's doing various short snippet podcasts. He's doing YouTube now, like I am. Ed Delgado, the Caramel Conservative. Check him out. And then there's another one comes out of the great state of Illinois, and that is the man he called Huber, Bob Huber, the Huber Experience. He has various programs. He's on certain days of the week, sometimes on Sunday, sometimes on Tuesday and Thursday, and right now he's on a hiatus taking care of his mom. What a great young man. He's fabulous. Bob Huber, the Huber Experience. Check him out. He has 15 minutes, but I tell you what, he packs a lot in 15 minutes. He does 15-minute short commentaries, talks a lot about gaming, movies. I mean, you name it, check him out. And then on the other side of the coin, down in Houston, where they're having all that rain and flooding, is OBFSU, our big fat soft underbelly. Comes out of Houston, Texas. His name is John. He's a immigrant, and he's legal. He worked hard to get into this country. He loves it. He loves this country. He loves America, and he tells it like it is. He tells it like it is. And I love his ending in his podcast. He talks about how he defends the Constitution of the United States of America. I love his ending. It's absolutely incredible. Check him out. That's OBFSU, our big fat soft underbelly from Houston. And then just up north of him in LaPorte is another young man. His name is B.J. McNamara. He's going to be coming back on. He has some great 80s music. He jams. He's fabulous. Black Dragons Radio. Check out some of the 80s music. He plays a lot of really good stuff. Goes back and digs out some songs I haven't heard in a while. So check him out. He's fabulous. 80s stuff. Good rock and roll. And he's now going to another podcast platform, and I might check it out too. I have it on there. It's okay, but you can't do a live podcast. I like it here because this is the only podcast platform so far that you can actually do a podcast for free to try it out and to be able to go on and actually be on live. So, but check it out anyway. He's fabulous. Listen to him. And then I got another one that I like to talk about. On the air tonight, live on the radio, is 11:06 Central Time, 9:06 Pacific, midnight 06 in the East, and that is from straight out of Canada, right there deep in the Canada, in what they call the British Columbia. Up in Vancouver is, of course, Spaced Out Radio. This guy does a lot of weird stuff, talks about Mothman and Bigfoot, has UFO talk. It's fabulous. Good stuff on there tonight. Talks about the Mandela effect. He has just wide variety of strange topics. And he has a great news thing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to flip over to his news source. He has a great website that has great news on it. And it's great. As a matter of fact, it's on here. I'm going to go to it. It's cool. I love it. And he puts a lot of good stuff in there. Okay, let me see if I can find it. It's spacedoutradio.com. I know that. Yeah, I thought it was on here. Now I can't find it. I'm looking for it. But he has a lot. Here it is. www.spacedoutradio.com. And We Own the Night. And this is a fabulous site. And he has all kinds of news from the strange, unusual, the latest stories, strange stuff. And I'm going to be flipping to this for my stories because he has a good show every night, but he does news stories. And I'm going to be using that as part of my Strange But True on the coming Way Out There shows. Matter of fact, tonight on his show, this is one from Wednesday night. Is that tonight? Yeah, today is Wednesday, isn't it? Tonight, the ghost of the Great White North will be the topic. He'll be joined by Mike Warren from the Haunted Crew of Canada, and discussing the haunting and strange tales coming out of Canada. So tune in tonight and listen to that. Always fabulous. Right here on Spreaker. Check it out. Dave Scott. Check out his website, www.spacedoutradio.com. I'll take that link and put it in my chat room, and I'll put it all over there so you can check him out. Got some really good stuff. He got a story here about a deep-sea scientist discovering a shape-shifting jellyfish. I gotta check that out. So that's all coming up. I'm gonna bring that story. I gotta change some of my. I think I'm gonna change some of my stories on my way out there coming up. I've got better stories on here than what I got from Coast to Coast. Really, I mean they're better stories. Yeah. 11:06 tonight. Tune in. Dave Scott. And those are some of the ones. Where can you find all these great podcasters? Well, you know, I always say the best place to tune in and to check them out is right here on my Spreaker public site. www.spreaker.com /user /512-525 or go into my Twitter account. I am the Radio Maniac. When you get in there, you'll see my widget come up, and just press that button where it says, where you'll see it, and you'll find my program there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to click over to that right now and show you how that all goes. As soon as I find it, first of all, look down the page. If you're my follower on here, and you have me on Twitter, you'll see the antique radio emblem. If you have not yet followed me, please do. Right there. And when you see the thing pop up, it'll open up and you'll see my show title. You'll see the antique radio, my show emblem. And down the page there, you'll find my widget. It'll open up into that page where you'll see the show title. Matter of fact, I don't know why I'm not seeing that. Should be up there where it says the antique radio emblem. I'm going to go down the page. I'll find it. Sometimes what I always do is just let it do it itself, and I'll come across it. Meanwhile, there are a lot of people that that I follow on Spreaker right here on Twitter. So you'll find a lot of them like Dave Scott, Ed Delgado, the Huber Experience. They're all on here. This show can also hear me on Spotify. I'm on there too. So check out that. But anyway, I can't find it, but it's got to be there. I'm going to refresh this page once. See, maybe perhaps I'm just not seeing it. Because sometimes I'm not, the postings don't come up right away. And I hope that Twitter's not doing the same thing Facebook's doing and not posting my shows, or I'll be absolutely ticked off. It's better be posting. But anyway, you can find it, and you'll see the widget, and just open up that widget, and you'll find my show. And I'm going to go to my profile. I'm going to have to start posting on here too. Here's my profile right here. I'm going to retweet it. It's right there. When you hit that button with the radio dial, you'll see that radio dial. And there it is, opened up. You'll see there the heart button. Someone hit it. And there is the chat room button right there. That is the comic book icon. When you click that, it'll take you right into my chat room. And you can listen in my show and say hi right there. So do that. And when you do that, you go into my profile page, just a profile page, and there's a following list there, and there's all the stations I follow, and the people who follow me, all my followers are all there. Guys like Zach Baruch, we didn't mention him. That's Zach Friller. He does a show on MTFB Radio, fabulous radio station out of Indiana. He does a show, and that is Zach Friller, MTFB. The Aviation Network, great music all the time, different DJs, different stuff. Check it out, great music. I have other people on here I didn't mention. Mike Myers, Radio Hope, 7 mornings a week. If you want to get inspired, he talks about God, he talks about family, he talks about life. Absolutely fabulous man, Mike Myers in the Radio Hope Network, 7 mornings a week, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time, 6 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker. Those are some of the great people you can listen who follow me and who I follow. And they're all right here on Spreaker. They're all there. Bob Huber, all of them. Beyond the Strange, another great strange show talking about aliens and UFOs. I got jazz, I got blues. WJAZ out of Lexington, Kentucky. They play jazz. That's my jazz station there, my favorite. Caramel Conservative, we mentioned him, Ed Delgado. He's going to be he's on quite a bit. Mike Myers, the Radio Hope Network, Snarky of Oz, they're all there. So just get into my Spreaker public site and you'll find all those great people. www.spreaker.com, and you can also type it in there, GJRB Online, in the search engine, and it'll come up and it'll take you right to my page. So those are ways of getting into my show, a lot of ways. And it's always fabulous. So please do, stop in and say hi from time to time. And let me know that I'm not the only one in the world doing this radio stuff. Because, gotta tell you, folks, I'm not the only one. And I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to type conclusion. Let me see if I can okay, I'm going to do this. There we go. I'm going to add conclusion onto that for the last 15 minutes of the show. And that gives me a chance to do the last part of my show, which I always call the program schedule and what we're doing on Spreaker and some of the ideas I got planned for GJRB Online, some of the stuff I've got planned for way out there. We're going to do that in the last 15 minutes of this program. So tune in for that. And we will see if there's anybody out there in the last 15 minutes. Usually the last quarter hour, I usually just kind of leave it to schedule and see if there's anybody out there. But usually by the end of the show, I know for a fact that I'm going to get any more listeners the rest of the show. So I just kind of leave that time to, do that. But this has been the GJRB Spreaker Shoutouts, brought to you by Spreaker, 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 and broadcast to the world. Be right back with more of the Gary Russen program, wrapping up our show in just a few minutes. We're going to be right back. You're listening to the GJRB Online Network. Thanks for tuning in.
Is the website which you learn and want to write a DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.